Rangers Radio, everybody, this Tuesday night. There's not the greatest amount of stories here about Rangers tonight, but it's Rangers, so we'll always find something to talk about. I'm joined here with on the panel tonight with Bridgeman. How you doing, Bridgeman?
Oh, can I say a big good evening to yourself, George, and Foxy in the background and Old School, and to all the boys in the lobby, and to all the Rangers fans all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm doing very well, George. I'm doing very well. What about yourself, pal? You doing good?
I'm doing good. Doing good, Bridgeman. I'm ready to go. What about you, Fox? How are you doing tonight? You all right?
Aye, fine, George. Ready for another wee show.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a great deal to talk about tonight, Fox. It's the international week. I think we've done a little bit with the game last night, but it's Rangers, so you'll always find topics, and the guys in the lobby and the guys that phone in and join the panel always give us good subjects to talk about. But one thing we can, for me personally, I think we should start with great news today. We Alfredo, and again, but we've got to say here, he shouldn't have been cited anyway, but some people were actually sitting there thinking he could have been cited and he could have missed the next game against that lot. So he's not been cited today. He's free to play against that lot in the next game, 29th or whenever, 31st or whatever it is. Sorry. What do you make of that today, Bridge? That's great news for us.
Well, good news for the Rangers, absolutely. And obviously, my honest thoughts are it should never have come this far. If anything, maybe the referee might have been told. They're all mic'd up, and somebody from an official perspective must have saw something, because some players saw it, and it might be better just to talk to them in the tunnel or something like that, pack it in or something, you know, and just go on with it, and that's it. And that means he's taken notice of it and he spoke to them. That might have been the best way to go, but I really don't think that referee on Saturday had the knowledge to do these kind of things, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he's a very poor, inexperienced referee, and that's indicative of what's happening to Rangers when they're playing at Ibrox, because there's no TV coverage and no live radio. And that's the big thing. I'm not being funny, guys. That's the big thing. That makes the difference as to what happens with the Rangers and what happens in the game. Because other than that, they're just the spectators. The national radio station in our country here is just a spectator on it, a TV spectator, and when they're watching Rangers at Ibrox, and it's nothing short of disgraceful. I'm not going to say too much more about that because I'll just start a big rant. So my apologies. But yes, I'm very pleased for Morelos.
The thing is, Bridgeman, we've got a lot more of a chance us winning against that lot when we go there at the end of the month with wee Alfredo on the team. He showed on Saturday, that goal he took on Saturday, Bridgeman, the way he turned, I think as you said, or somebody said in the show last night, he was like the wee Dutch boy, he was like Michael Moles the way he turned. And I'm not saying he's updated to that standard yet, of course I'm not saying that, but he was absolutely fantastic the way he done that turning Saturday against that lot, Bridge. So for him to be on our team when we come up against them, we want all the ammunition we can possibly have for the gun against this team and try and take the 3 points and still give us that wee chance that everybody thinks it could be on done with now. Well, it's not on done with yet. We go there in the next game and that gives him something to think about. It reduces the points and things like that. So I think if he's on our team, we've got maybe a chance of winning and maybe a chance of definitely scoring goals.
Yep, agreed, 100%. Well, always wondered, by the way, we know ourselves, he's the best player we've got, without a shadow of a doubt. Most influential in a lot of parts of the pitch. A really, really clever player. And we need him. We need him in our team. And when he plays in our team, we've got a wee chance, that's for sure.
What do you think, Fox? Do you think that he's obviously he's got that wee bit of aggression about and things like that? But is that because he's wanting to win for us, Fox? Do you believe that? Do you think he's got this aggression, he's got this wee bit of fire in his belly because he really wants us to win that much and he wants to score for us that much? Because every time he scores, it's pure delight you see in the laddie's face, Fox. And it's like, I think it is. He's maybe, I'm not saying he's trying too much, but he's trying that much for to try and get us the win and for to get him the goals. It's maybe coming across as aggression sometimes when it's not really. It's just the will to win, and I think that's what it is, Fox.
Well, first of all, I am absolutely disappointed that no player was cited in that incident. I think the abuse that's been dished out to Alfredo Morelos for the whole season is beyond a joke. I think they could have put a stop to it or helped it in a wee bit by citing Chris Big Broadfoot and giving him a 3-game ban. That incident took place because he was trying to get a man sent off by deliberately running his studs down his Achilles heel And for me, that's got to be taken out the game. This has went on all season with Morelos, that managers are sending out players with strict instructions of having a go at that young boy. It's beyond a joke now, and it's about time our club came out and made a statement on it saying we are fed up with the referees failing to protect our player. Because it's just pure out and out thuggery for me, and it's taken a lot of delight that I've watched out of Morelos all season. Now we've even got some of our own fans quoting constantly, the guy's a hothead, he's off his head, he strikes out, etc. He's got a wee bit of temperamental issues, but it's nothing as bad as people make it out to be. And I'd like to see MD that says that if I was walking by them in the street and just kicked them up the arse and said, and they wouldn't react to it, mate. It's beyond a joke. The man has got no protection at all in Scottish football, and it's a shame that the officials in this game can't look after a young foreign player who is only here to play football.
That's right. That's what Bridgeman's been saying as well. I mean, what Fox is saying there's bang on, Bridgeman. If we can take it the other way, for as though we're happy for wee Alfie not to get cited, but actually must be a bit disappointed that the other guy never got cited, because you said it yourself. I mean, he deliberately tried to get him, and like Fox is saying there, if you had cited him and put him back and says, wait a minute, you're just trying to nip at this wee guy and try to get him to do what everybody expects him to do, and he's not actually done it this time. It might have been a start to putting an end to this, Bridgeman, do you think?
Yeah, a good chance of that. My personal opinion, there's a good chance, yes, I agree with you, there's a good chance it could happen. I don't think it will. I think that shall we say, the dice is thrown as far as this is concerned. This is going to take a massive change at the top of the Scottish Association and the SPFL. At that level, it's got to be comfy there, because nobody's going to change it other than them. This has to be done at the very top. The other clubs, all the clubs, will not stop. They have found a way of getting in there and getting round about Rangers that's acceptable to the powers that be in the broadcasting and media areas. They love it. They love it because it's controversial, and they look for a wee guy like Morelos to come out and explode, and they can cause trouble. All they need to do is keep nipping them, and they take turns. You know, every 10 minutes they pass him over to one. He runs with him and boots him and shoves him and bumps into him and all the rest of it. Then it's somebody else that does it. So they only get maybe 4 or 5 shots at him, and then they pass it on to somebody else. And by the time it comes back to him again, the rest's forgotten about the 4 or 5 shots, you know. That's the way I feel it happens. You just pass them round. And it's absolute disgrace. And I hope Rangers get the bottle at board level and have somebody in the board that's going to stand up and say, no more of this. You better do something about it. Otherwise, something's going to happen. And the supporters and our fans. Somewhere along the line, maybe our fans could do something. I don't know. But we can maybe talk about that later on. But yes, I'm all for this. Get it stopped. Get it out of the game.
How many times have you heard in commentary, guys? It's the defender letting them know that they're there. But when Morelos pushes or has a wee go at them, it's Morelos out of control. I'm fed up hearing that, especially on the commentaries. The defender was just letting them know that he was there when he's whacking the boy for the back. But as soon as Morelos retaliates, he's wild and out of control. It's sickening, mate. And if the boy does go in the summer, mate, I hope he goes to a league that allows him to play the football that he's capable of. I'd rather see him stay here and score goals, but he'll not be protected in Scottish football.
Sorry, George. Sorry.
When you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think you've heard me saying this before, guys, and I know people get fed up when listening to me blathering on about this stuff, but all of the media, at press level, broadcasting level, punditry, every single one that's within Scottish football, maybe bar Derek Johnson, to be honest, every single one of them are now anti-Rangers. They'll get more kudos out the game and out their job, within the game, in their jobs, if they slate Rangers. That's to me, that's what it's like. And you know yourself, you've got wee Walker, you've got Big Hartson, you've got Sutton, you've got them all, and they're all lined up. Every single time, it's an anti-Rangers story they come out with. Very rarely you see a positive Rangers story. Very rarely now. In any press or any forum other than an actual Rangers forum. Nobody wants to talk about it in a positive manner, and whenever they can, they stick about in.
But what Fox was saying there, but Bridgman's absolutely bang on. I mean, take the one I speak about, the Livingston game. When we played against Livingston, every single one of the defenders had a kick at wee Alfie. And then everyone, the midfielders having a wee kick at Alfie. So before you kent it, there were 6 or 7 had a kick at them, and the boy the right back boy, left back boy, Gallagher, he punched him in the back as well. So that's everybody had a kick at him, and one of them had a punch at him. Wee Alfie has a wee nudge back at one of them, and the referee's there pulling them apart. Nothing was actually happening at this point. Bridge Ken Alfie's up just in the boy's face, giving him a wee bit of talking to point his finger at, and the referee's in between the two of them pointing, and I'm sure the linesman was ready to try and go in the park at that point as well. And I'd actually already said to the boy that sits beside me, I turned around and I said to him, by the way, that's 4 or 5 of these guys had a kick at wee Alfie now, and then the boys had a punch at him. We're not protecting him. Like Fox said, I'd be delighted to keep the wee guy, Bridgman. I really, really would. But what chance have you got of getting talent in Scotland when you're watching things like this? I mean, what chance have you actually got of getting a guy like Alfie coming here? He's away with playing with Colombia now. Hopefully got to get a game for Colombia, and he's out here and he's getting kicked and he's getting punched. And like Fox said last night, he's playing in his last 2 clubs and hardly got a booking because he was allowed to play football. He was getting protected for big crazy tackles. Now he's getting kicked up and down the park and just expected to take it because that's what we do in Scottish football. Bridge.
Yep. And now, George, you heard me saying this a long time ago with a young lad, Nathan Adua. I don't know if it was Alloa or Livingston at the time. I can't remember. It was a wee ex-Celtic boy. He was a manager, and he made a statement that the guy that done Nathan Adua in the first couple of minutes of a game was a young, upcoming Scottish star. Why would we worry about the English boy? He's foreign. That's what he said. And you're like, it's a Burchell. Burchell, that was, yeah, the manager. And you're like that. I watched them at Ibrox. I'm standing there and I'm sitting there and I'm watching them taking turns at whacking Nathan Adua. And they ended up putting the boy right out the game. That's a fantastic talent for a boy. Brilliant talent. Nah.
I think it's moved on past Morelos now, and it's even starting to affect Ryan Kent, mate. The boys
absolutely.
Boys get good ability, and we watched the Kilmarnock game and the Aberdeen game, exactly how they started to treat him as well. When you look across the side of the city, you get people in their team who go down at the touch here. A feather touch, mate. That young boy that played in the centre of midfield for them, I can't remember his name now. Was up at Aberdeen last year. What was his name, Bridge?
Christie,
he goes down, mate. And
Diver.
Aye, but all the comment, all the analysis that goes on after the game, the first thing they'll point out and say, but there was a touch there. But if Morelos goes down with a touch, or Ryan Kent goes down with a touch, it's he went down easy there. You know, it's a negative way they're analysing games and reporting on games, and it's actually sickening me off of Scottish football altogether, mate.
But that's what's got to do with everybody, Fox. I mean, there's Blue Shadow making a cracking point in the lobby, and it's what we've been saying for a while. We tried to get the wee boy Harry Winks for Tottenham on loan. I think we actually did we get the wee boy Adua for Tottenham at the time, actually? And wee Adua went past the boy, and what he done, he flicked, rainbow flicked, and the boy punched him in the throat and punched him in the neck and done all this care on, and we got Telly was slagging him off. And there's Blue Shadow saying, what chance have we got to getting these guys on loan, Harry Winks and boys for Liverpool and things like that, if they're just coming up here and they're getting kicked up and down the park? Now, fair enough, touch wood, we're at Ryan Kent and that. There's no had injuries, but I mean, they're still getting kicked up and down the park. These English teams aren't going to want to do that. They've got to turn around and say, Ken, son, I'm going to send these young talents, and I'm going to send them to the first division in England and the championship in England and things like that before I actually send them up here, because they're coming up here and they're not getting one bit of protection at all, folks.
I'd agree with you there, George, and it's a shame because there is good young talent being made available. I think the loan of Ryan Kent, especially this season, has been particularly a good loan for us. If he goes back down south, mate, Pete, how was it up there? See, as soon as you get the ball, you get the legs whipped for you. You're going to get the chances you getting a serious injury are really high. And they'll put half young talent coming up here. And Scottish football in a whole, not just our club, needs exciting talent to bring back the crowds. It's only Rangers that play to a full house all the time. All the rest of their grounds are empty. Why? Because they're full of hackers and kickers that nobody wants to spend a Saturday afternoon watching.
Can I
Bridge, man.
Foxy, can I just say...
You're famous for saying, Bridge, man, we need a centre half up here.
Oh,
6 foot this, 6 foot
100%.
that. We need this, we need the next thing, right? Now, there's we're not going to be able to buy a £10 million centre half. It's not going to happen.
I know, Paul.
See a player that's not in the Man City team, a player that's not in the Liverpool team, and a player that's not in the Chelsea team. That's the only chance we've got to get a guy that's estimated at these kind of margins, Bridge.
Yeah.
But if you've got a guy down there that's worth £10 million, you're not going to send them up here to get kicked up and down the park. That's it. I came up and bought joint with Jimmy in the new Bridge, but if you make your point, we'll bring Jimmy in a minute.
No, what I was going to say was, and I hope everybody in the lobby maybe listen to what I'm saying here. I actually listened again to the BBC's, shall we say, analysis. And when Foxy said that, it just reminded me. I listened to the BBC analysis of the game, and you know, at the end of their analysis, what we were told was that there was two red cards in the game. 2 possible red cards in the game. One for Goldson and one for Ryan Kent for pushing and shoving that guy who was sitting in his head. Now, that's what they told the world. That's what they broadcast to the world. Rangers were lucky they never got 2 players sent off, so they can't complain. And I was astounded because I'd missed that bit. You remember the one with the big fella come on and the first thing he did is he pulled Ryan, he got hold of Ryan Jack and took him down. And then he was sitting in his shoulders. I don't know if anybody remembers it. It was a shocker. And when Ryan Jack shoved him and pulled his pants, his shorts, and he got up laughing. The guy got up laughing and went away. He knows fine well what he was doing. And that was out of order. And yet the BBC said he should have been sent off for that. And I think that's scandalous. That's all I'm saying about it, guys.
Let's bring Jimmy in here. Jimmy's been sitting there for a while. How are you doing, Jimmy? All right?
Ian George, Ian Fox, even Bridge, man.
Hi, Jimmy.
The decision today by the compliance officer was an absolute joke, a disgrace. Violent conduct is the law, and that's what the book that players get sent off and all that for. If anybody can tell me that Kirk Clubfoot didn't use violent conduct towards Fred, then I'm going to give up watching the football. You know, do you know what they done today, guys? They decided they weren't going to give any more punishment or any punishment to Fred because it meant they would have to have gave Clubfoot a punishment. I listened to a bit of Snide Radio earlier on, and the guy who professes to be an ex-Rangers player, you know who I'm talking about, and it's no DJ, was trying to justify the fact that any of the two of them got any retrospective action taken against him, but it wasn't violent conduct. Now, for what I saw and what you guys saw, is that after him raking his studs down Fred's calf, that anybody would have reacted the same and pushed him away. There was no punch. And yet this so-called ex-Rangers player decided that he would try and justify no giving any of the two of them with a retrospective ban, that it wasn't violent conduct. My arse, excuse my French, violent conduct was with Clubfoot. He violently attacked. It might not have been a major attack to a lot of people, but you could see him scraping his studs down to get a reaction. And if anybody in this world wouldn't have the same reaction that Fred had, then, well, what's the use? I mean, if in fact had been Fred that done that, he'd have been off the park. He'd had like a 2-game ban. If he'd have scraped his studs down the back of some other player, and that player turned in, I bet you bottom dollar, Fred would have got a 2-game ban, and the other guy would have got nothing for his reaction. It's an absolute joke. I heard you talking on earlier on, guys, at the start of the show. Rangers need to do something here. Instead of asking for things to be looked at, Rangers need to try and take some action, and I don't know what action they can take, but that decision today is a joke, an absolute joke. That's my rant, guys.
No, you're absolutely bang on, Jimmy. Everything you said there is absolutely bang on. I'll take a couple of things you do say here. If that was Alfredo, what would have happened to him? If that was in the street, Jimmy, and you'd done that to somebody in the street in front of Copper, what would happen? How's it all right today? That on a football park? And you said the club should do something. What should the club actually do, Jimmy? I mean, what can the club do? Can we actually go and say, wait a minute here, we want to bring young talent like we're just talking about for Spurs. We want to bring young guys up and play players. I mean, who was the young laddie who played for us against the black fella? What's his name now?
Atakai.
He was on the park 2 minutes and just about got a broken ankle, Jimmy.
What can we do, right? Well, I don't know, but the puddle drinkers instigated a referee strike because they weren't happy that they felt they were getting cheated all the time, which was rubbish, right? But what's happening here is our players are getting kicked all apart every single game. Every single game. It's not happening once, twice. It's every game. It doesn't matter who we play. And yet, I think it was Fox that said there, no, when somebody attacks Fred, right, it's kind of brushed aside. But as soon as Fred has a go at somebody, whether it's a rash tackle, he's a dirty player. He's petulant. He shouldn't be reacting like that. But when it happens against a Rangers player, they kind of brush it aside. Rangers need to stand up and be counted here because I'm fed up the same as Fox. I'm going to watch Rangers play with this happening every game. Some of the games are getting stopped every 2 seconds because the referee is allowing us to be kicked off the park, guys.
I come in there, guys.
Hi, Blue Star. How you doing, pal?
All right, Blue Star.
All right, guys. I'm listening to what Jimmy's saying there, and much as I agree with him, the problem you've got there, Jimmy, and we all know that Broadfoot was well out of order. The bottom line is, the wee man still retaliated, and much as we probably all would have done even worse, come in here, you can't retaliate either. Therefore, if the referee does anything to Broadfoot, he's got to do the same to Alfredo. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. But get your point. Sorry
to interrupt, Blue Star. But did you see the statement that they released? They said that the reason that there was no retrospective action because there was insufficient evidence. My arse. One player raked his studs down the back of another man's legs, and the other man pushed him off. Didn't he punch him? So how could there be insufficient? The reason they said there was insufficient evidence was because they didn't get a chance to have a go at Fred again.
Jimmy, their attitude to that is it's the insufficient evidence bit is because the ref didn't see it.
That's what the compliance officers there for. They can obviously, if they see the video evidence and they see it, it was as plain as a nose and end of your face.
Jimmy, I know I'm agreeing with you, but the way the rules are, the compliance officer is acting on behalf of the referee. Therefore, if the referee doesn't see it, they can only take action if they think the referee was blinded or whatever. Their attitude is the referee didn't see it. If they do anything to Broadfoot, then they've got to do the same to Alfredo. And I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but the bottom line is, if they give him a red card, they've got to give Alfredo a red card for retaliating. That's the rules. I know it's mental, but that is the rules.
Can I just come in on that a minute? Can I just come in? Just a wee minute, guys. I don't want to split it up in any way. My honest opinion on that is that game at half time, the players are coming off. This is on television, going all over the world, right? If under Rangers TV, it's going all over the world, and people are seeing that. And they're seeing that guy walking up behind a Rangers player and taking a wee pause and looking down so he knows what he's getting, and then walking right into him and drawing his studs down the back of his leg. Everybody could see it that was watching that part of the tele. So there's absolutely no way there isn't any evidence. It's there. Video evidence is there. You could see him doing it, and you could see the intent. And I agree with you.
I said it last night. The only other option we've got left, if the board don't seem to think they can do anything because of the rules that they're getting hit with, then it's left to our manager. And I'm sad to say it, but I can see it happening. The other option is he turns round, and if he thinks his players aren't getting protected enough and that there's no action getting taken, he waits to the next badging and he just turns around and he takes the players off the park. If that's what has to be done, then that's what he should do.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I do agree with you that by the look of things, what we've seen in replays is there's no official anywhere near the incident other than, I think, the referee's bending down to pick up the ball, so he never actually saw it. But that doesn't mean to say that the fourth official, who was should have been at the mouth of the tunnel, they didn't see it because they're all connected up by a microphone and so on. So I would imagine that somebody in officialdom saw it. And if
they would have wangled that. Jimmy's right in one sense. They would have wangled that. See if it had been Fred that had done that to Broadfoot.
You bet your boots.
Make no mistake about it. They would have hauled Fred up, whether Broadfoot had retaliated or not, and they would have done Fred. We all know that. No, and that's what I'm saying. It's one rule for the rest, and it's one rule against us.
Before you get to the rules, I'm saying to you, it's being broadcast, and somebody's watching that live, and they see this guy striding up there, and then stopping, looking down to make sure he's going to do the next thing, and then taking the next step and raking his legs, raking down the back of his legs, down to his Achilles, and that everybody can see it. It's not just the referee can't see it, but everybody that wants to watch that on the TV, they can see it. Why was it not deemed to be, shall we say, offensive or what the JFK was using, but very dangerous, very dangerous.
Barry Gerrard just put in the lobby. Broadfoot in the video even changes his stride to make sure that he can step on Fred's Achilles, and that we all seen it. I know we're all in agreement here. But what is our next option? If we're not getting any satisfaction out of the officials, I'm sorry guys, the next option is you've got to take the players off the park, and maybe then they'll do something.
See the compliance officer. I mean, let's go back. We're going back. We will go back to the game last season when Ryan Jack was sent off against Kilmarnock at Ibrox. Pedro's last game. It was a one each game, but I think that what happened there is, if I'm wrong, right in saying this, Bridge, that Broadfoot stood on Ryan Jack's foot and made it look like Ryan Jack had stuck the head in him. So Ryan Jack was sent off. Is that right? And Ryan Jack got rescinded, I think. Is that right, Bridge?
Yeah. Ryan Jack came up and did the usual. Broadfoot came up to Ryan Jack and did the usual and took that wee half a step with both feet to stand on his toes. And Ryan Jack managed to pull his feet away, and then it did it again. And that's when Ryan Jack pushed him.
Right.
And when he pushed him, he went down like a rock, holding his face.
So what happens here? I mean, again, it's a wee bit a different issue, but what happens here? Why? That's he gets sent off. Everybody in the stand thinks Ryan Jack stuck the head in him. He gets sent off. Me, for one, I'm saying I can't believe Ryan Jack's done that again. I get him a watch. I actually see what's happened. The compliance officers must have watched it as well, and then they turn around and they say, right, the Ryan Jack's card is rescinded, but nothing actually happened to Broadfoot.
Nothing happened to Broadfoot. Absolutely.
This is the exact same again. This is just a repeat offender.
It's a repeat. It's a repeat. Exactly. Unbelievable. And that's what I'm trying to say. No matter what they say, there's no evidence. A lot of rubbish. There's the evidence there. The whole world can see it. Put it out there on the TV and watch it.
We're the only country using a compliance officer, right? He's on agreement. Is the compliance officer doing any good? No, it's no.
No,
it's no. It's hammering us and it's no hammering MD else.
Exactly. That's what it's doing. So it's doing good for whomever it is that's employing the compliance officer, and that's for sure. I've said it the other night, and I'll say it a couple of months ago, and I can't stop saying it, but I get fed up because people get fed up listening to it. We are being systematically cheated from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree in football. Systematically cheated, guys. All they need to do is two bookings against their players. Look at the figures. It will tell you we're probably the most punished team in the whole of the league, and yet the champions across the road there, you can bet your boots they're up half the teams, half the tackles that they do. It's just shocking. They don't get done. So they're probably on double. So they'll probably be on every seven tackles that we do, we'll get a foul, something like that, or 4. They'll be on 12 or 13, something like that.
And the latest craze for them is the referees are adding more time on until they do get a goal.
Oh, well. Is that what did they used to call that with Man United? Fergie time? Fair
Aye.
game time.
I've got a question here. I'll take this to you, Jimmy. We'll try and change the subject to you, but it's not really changing the subject, but it's along the same lines. I mean, we're talking about, hammer throws and Scottish football and things like that. And I think it was Blue Shadow made the point in the lobby a while ago about Harry Winks. Warburton tried to get Harry Winks on loan for Tottenham. It seemed like we were going to get him for a wee while, and then obviously never. And look where he's went now. Do you think clubs are actually going to look at what's actually happening up here with tackles? I mean, if you just go through, I think it was you went through the injuries we had last night for bad tackles. The boy Murphy, even the one that got done on Ryan Jack with Aberdeen last season, the boy Dorrans. I mean, we've had a few bad injuries, Jimmy. If you're down there and you've got like Bridgman's always wanting this £10 million centre half, we're not going to be able to buy that. But if you've got a guy down there from Man City, Man United, or Chelsea, who they're rating at 10 and 15 million, just like that lot across the city. I've got a boy for Leicester rated at £15 million. Do you actually think? Would you send somebody up here, Jimmy? If you're honest about it.
I mean, apart from the fact that I'm a bit buying players, George, but you're right there. You're bang on there. I mean, any players that are available on loan, the clubs are going to be reluctant to send them up to Scotland because they're going to get kicked over apart, especially if they play for Rangers. You know, and that's a detriment to us, and that's quite sad. You know, it's not just Rangers, but it's what's happened to Scottish football now. Scottish football is poor. Every time Rangers go in the park, they get kicked or they put 10 men behind the ball. It's anti-football now. You know, there's people better behaved in the streets than what's happening sometimes to Rangers. So no, you couldn't be surprised if teams down south or anywhere that Rangers could get a lone player deciding, oh, we're not wanting you going there. It's all leg breakers up there, all hammer throwers. So that could be a detriment to us long term. And I wouldn't be surprised if deep down Fred's decided, I've had enough of this. It doesn't matter what I do. No, I know some of the things that has been his own fault, but I'm like Fox. I think that's the way he plays, and I don't like this petulance rubbish that they talk about. He plays on the edge, and he proved that with the goal he scored on Saturday. So yeah, George, it is going to be a detriment to us, and it could stop us going forward because loan players for us is a big thing now.
Caller
George,
on the phone there, George.
That compliance
caller on
officer.
the phone, George.
I'll take the call on the phone. I see him going in there.
Hello, caller. Good evening.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello?
Hello. You're live on air, mate. What you got to say?
Hi, pal. How's it going? You hear me okay? Hi.
We can hear you.
Skelf here. Just a wee quick one of the quick points. I don't even know if it's been mentioned yet, but see, before Alfredo came to Scotland, somebody pointed out to me tonight that he only had 3 yellow cards and 0 red cards before he came to Scotland.
Correct.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yep.
Now, is it a coincidence he's came to Scotland and that's what he's got? Or the treatment he's had?
We said that a wee while ago there, Skilf. I mean, that's some stat when you actually think about it. I mean, he's come out here and the amount of red cards he's had, yellow cards he's had. I said that a wee while ago there. I don't think it's petulance or aggression with people. I genuinely, my honest opinion, I genuinely think it's the will and want to win and want to score goals. And what you've just said, I mean, the yellow cards and that in his last 2 teams, that just goes to tell you, I don't think he's a dirty player. I think he's not getting Mick Fox is right in saying, Skelf, he's not actually getting protected enough for our referees out here. And that's,
no,
I think
he's not. 100%. He's not getting any protection. See the Broadfoot one on Saturday, for instance. That's just a prime example. A young player coming from a country who grew up in poverty, and this is the treatment he's getting. He's trying to make his life better, and this is the treatment he's getting in Scotland. It's honestly, it's unbelievable. So he's probably the best. I'll tell you right now, he's the best player in Scotland right now. So he is. 100%. He's the best player in Scotland. So yes. But anyway,
That's the sad thing, Scale. I'll say what Bridgeman's got to say about this, but I mean, it's maybe a horrible question to ask, but Bridgeman, what do you think? Does the guy get to a point where what he's just said there, he's bang on what he's saying, 3 yellow cards in his last couple of clubs, he's out here and he can't get a run in the game, a run in the team because he's sent off and suspended and that. Does eventually what we didn't want him to do, Bridge, say, Ken, something, I can't take this anymore, I'm going. Ken, it's weird what I is that
I think that discussion was held in all probability with him a few months ago, to be honest, and that's when they gave him the extension, because I think the club know obviously they want him to stay because he's a goal machine for us. You can't lose. Rangers couldn't afford to lose 30 goals. They need to get those goals from somewhere. But seriously, if I was the player, I'm not being funny. If I was the player and the treatment I'm getting for fellow professionals. Absolutely, I'd be thinking about it. And
100%. Why would you want to stay in a? Why would you want to stay in a country that doesn't want you?
I think he was asked the question apparently by maybe a paper from his own country, and he was saying, as far as he knows, there's been some bids in, and there will be bids, and he'll probably leave in the summertime. That's apparently what he said. And before that story broke, I think Rangers got him that extension to his contract. I think it's inevitable he's going to go. We, as Rangers fans, are desperate for, shall we say, as much money as possible. And the club's done well by him, and he's done well by the club in signing the extension to his contract, which gives 100%. Rangers a bigger scene. And if he gets another couple of goals, gets himself into the 30 goals mark, my goodness gracious, that's an enormous amount of goals to score. And the way he's been treated, as you say, he's getting booted all over the park. And you know what I mean? For somebody to still score 40 goals, or 30 goals rather, and maybe even reach 40, you never know.
Guys, Stella Bear in the lobby's brought up a good point. He says if Gerrard played his cards right, he could embarrass the SFA, but he would need to be clever in how he puts his views forward down south as they listen to him, and they do, big time. And that would embarrass the officials up here. That's an option. That's a big option.
That's he going to like talk sport and things like that, and dropping me hints and things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely, George.
It really is.
It's like different. It's like listening to two different medias, listening to England and listening to Scotland.
Of course it is.
Absolutely, Skelf. Absolutely, pal. Hey, you know what?
Anyway,
can you hang on just a wee minute, sir? I was just going to say, if anybody else wants to join us, please give us a call on 0141 356 1972. Or you can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online and Fox/Old School Blue will make sure they get in okay.
Thanks. Been a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, pal.
Thank you.
Don't be a stranger, pal.
See what you were saying. See what you were saying there. I'll go to Blue Star with this one. Blue, 100%. I agree with him. I think he is the best player in Scottish football, and that's me not being biased. We'll take us round the panel, but Blue, do you think he's the best player in Scottish football? I think he's the best player we've had in Scottish football in the last few years, and considering his age, he's only got to get better for me, Blue.
I don't know about the rest of these. I know Jimmy does. I've got a habit of looking in other forums, etc. And if you look at even other teams, pundits and their fans, most of the ex-players, most of the other players for other teams, if you've been looking, they all say the same thing. He's a nightmare to play against, and he's been a great player this season. There's nobody touches him this season. Nobody. The wee guy McGregor at the other side was coming onto a bit of a game, but he's been out most of this a lot of games. Nobody's came close to off Morelos. As I said to you last night, guys, at the start of the season, at the end of last season, I was a wee bit against him, if I'm being honest. I thought he was a bit over-exaggerated. I really did. This season, he's come on leaps and bounds for last season. He's not just scoring all day goals. He's bringing the amount of players that he brings into fruition in our team with his moves, with his holding up with the ball and playing other players in is incredible. He's doing the work sometimes of 3 and 4 guys, and he never stops trying. So there's no argument. He's undoubtedly the player of the year. Undoubtedly.
For you, Jimmy, what do you think? Do you think he's the player of the year as well, Jimmy? Aye?
Oh, definitely. You know, I mean, I've been saying that. You know, Fred's not getting the plaudits that he's due, guys. I mean, we all know that. They keep naming some of the puddle drinkers as the players of the season. But Look, if Fred doesn't get the Player of the Year, then well, that just shows you how corrupt it is.
Yep.
I mean, it's all right saying that. I heard it was Fox said last night, that defenders hate playing against him because of the type of player he is. But look, everything's all down to who you support now, and a lot of players that are support us, and a lot of players support them in different ways and that. But he's up there in merit for me. Player of the Year by far. Both players Player of the Year and the pundits and the what do you call them, the press one that they gave as well. So whether he gets it, I know at the end of the season, but I think we should enjoy him while we can, because I don't think he'll be here next season.
It's away.
And one of the primary reasons will be is I've had enough of this. And you know something, we can't blame him, guys. We can't blame him.
What do you think, Bridgman? Do you think it'll be at the end of the season? Again, it's not a subject people want to be talking. It's just a question I'm asking, really. But do you think it'll be at the end of the season, Bridgman, or do you think we can hold him for another season and get another run in Europe with him?
Sorry, George. Yeah, I think that would be wonderful for us to be able to do that, if indeed the guy wants to stay. If he wants to stay, Rangers will accommodate him, obviously. And it may be, strangely enough, that the way everything's getting twisted against him, it might in fact be that he doesn't want to go because he feels he's worth more than what teams are coming in to do, because they might twist the story that much abroad that he's a hothead and he's this and he's that and he's the next thing, and actually sort of dull down the price a bit. Whereas Rangers are us Rangers fans are thinking we're talking 15 to 20 million. Some guys are wanting 25 million, because in the world of 30 goals a season players, he is one of them. And there's very few in the world that can do that. And he is a true legend for scoring goals. He loves scoring goals, and he's got a marvellous smile when he does it. He's just a young boy of 22 years old. But I do feel, in all honesty, it's inevitable he's going to leave at the end of the season. Absolutely. Either for a big transfer or just to get out of Scotland. That's the saddest part.
Either way, Bridgman, we'll get a lot of knots on the end of his transfer fee for definite, and I think that's what's happened with the contract he's just been handed. I don't think it was again it's an extra year's contract, but I think it's to give the guy the wages he deserves for a guy that's going to walk.
George, you don't honestly think if a massive offer comes in that we'll hang on to him, do you?
No, I honestly don't know, but
not a chance.
No, I think the only reason we give him that extra year's contract is to give him the wages he deserves, Blue, until such a time. I think we're just rewarding him for what he actually deserves. It's like for what we're talking about, the boy who are at Hibs, the ugly one, that wee boy McGinn. I mean, they were rating him at a £4 million midfielder, but they were paying him the wages of £500,000 midfielder. So that's not the way it works. I mean, you've got to get, if you're expecting us to get 20 million, 15 million for Alfredo Morelos, I would like to think we'd give him the wages that we actually rate him at. Now, giving him that extra year's contract, that's not saying we've got to. It means a contract means absolutely nothing, Blue, and you can as much as I do. But I think if we give him that extra year's contract and we top up his wages, people running about him might not be happy in his team that he's getting extra wages, but he definitely deserves it, boy.
Of course he does. I just think it's a two-pronged thing. I think they've obviously increased his wages, but beginning him the other year, that's to bump up the price that we as much as we can get for him. Because as Jimmy said last night, let's be honest, guys, unless there's a massive benefactor coming in, we know the situation with our finances. And for Stevie G to bring in the quality that he's looking for, he's going to need many millions, and most of that's going to come from Fred's transfer.
Yeah,
that might be the thing, but Jimmy, I mean, as much as Naina's want to actually lose with Alfredo, and I think you've probably resigned as much as I'm. I thought a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, we could maybe get Ryan Kent for 3-4 possible. I don't think that's going to happen now. But if you sell Morelos for, let's be honest, I think 15, 16, round about that, maybe folk are saying 20 million, Jimmy. So if you go round about that ballpark without actually putting a proper bang on figure on it, you build a new team with that, Jimmy. Can that you do, really?
Of course you do, and the thing about Ryan Kent as well is that, I mean, as I've always said, money talks and the BS walks, because, I mean, although he'll probably have a say in it where he goes next season, they'll have sort of part say, that if he wants to come back to Rangers, well, let's not kid ourselves on. if one of the middle clubs in the Premiership down there come in for a player like Kent, they'll be able to treble his wages, so we can't compete with that. So that's then we've got to think about, and I think that's why that the boy Jordan Jones has been signed, ironically, and this other boy Hasty that's allegedly supposedly signed. But they're no the class that we're looking for. And even Jordan Jones for me, a flash in the pan. Yeah. But I'd be looking at for 20 million for Fred, and even 20 million, guys, isn't going to buy a lot, because when you take into wages, into consideration. So it depends what Dave King and the Three Bears can manage to pull together and get a bit of finance. But there's still a work in progress, and I think this season the realisation's hit us. I mean, we had the hype with Stevie G coming; it was fantastic, and like all you guys, I enjoy my time going to Ibrox, and that, apart from some of the football that has been played against us. So looking forward to next season and see what kind of personnel we've got. I'm not writing off this season. I mean, till it's mathematically impossible, then we've still got to believe, as Big Marvin always told us. But personnel-wise, George, I'm resigned, mate, like the rest of the guys, to losing Alfredo, unfortunately, for two reasons: money, and also maybe he's had enough himself. They get kicked out of the park every week. So
two-pronged point as you're actually talking about, Jimmy. What do you reckon? I'll go around the panel this one as well. It's just another question as well. Go around the panel where you get 20 million for Alfredo Morelos, Jimmy. Now again, you're talking 40 goals, but we paid $1 million and 1.25 million for Morelos. What does Steven Gerrard do, Bridgeman? Does he go out and does he overhaul the team? Again, he's not said that, or do you buy 4 or 5 talents in there and put them in there? What would you do, Bridgeman, with that?
If we got 15 or 20 million for Morelos,
and a ballpark round about that.
Yeah, sure. But if we get a good figure for Morelos, I would certainly be. If I was on the board, I would be giving the manager probably 50% of that to be able to bring in some players. I don't think I would spend all of it, given the fact that sometimes the way our finances have been quite weak. There's other parts of the club that need to be looked after as well, and that's a really good get a good part of an income. However, that's not to say that the board might not give Gerrard all of that and let him bring some people in. But my goodness gracious, I don't think the board would do that. I don't think any board would give you the full whack. I think you would get a percentage of it. And I think if you got 20 million and Gerrard got 10 million quid to bring players in, but we're talking fantastic sum of money for us, for Rangers, So we could go out and buy 3 or 4 players for that 10 million that would immediately increase the quality of the team. They're not going to get European class players, but it could bring in some half decent players. Of course, it would depend on the manager's knowledge, wouldn't it? And the sort of what do you call him, the director of football or whatever his name is of his position. I think we need to watch what we're doing. But yes, I think he would get a big chunk of it anyway.
Guys, I was told tonight that he's had inquiries on Lewis Moult because they think they can get him on a very nominal fee. And I'll tell you, I would take him in a heartbeat simply because he's a big, robust centre forward and he's got a wee bit of skill. I'm not saying he's the answer to Morelos, but what I'm saying is we could be doing with him in our league because he can handle himself. And if you're getting him for a very nominal fee, then he certainly would be an option. But I've been told tonight that they've been inquiring about him at Preston.
I quite like that big guy, Blue. I must admit, I've said that.
He played great against us, George.
I said that for a long time, and we're talking about going out and getting a guy. I can be Alfredo's not there. We're just having a chat amongst ourselves, but for me, I think you've got to, if you've got to try and get anywhere near 25, 30 goals, you've got to go and get a guy that kens your league. And I ken that's what I don't laugh at you, Jimmy, and that never worked out, Jimmy, and things like that. But I think you've got to, I think Louis Moult would maybe be one of the guys who's sort of be an idea. He scored goals up here. He scored the goals against us. We weren't great at the time, don't get me wrong. He scored goals against them, but I think that would maybe be an option of doing something along the lines like that, because you're not going to replace Alfredo Morelos with another 22-year-old striker as good as that again.
No, well, I mean, at one point I would have taken Louis Moult, but I wouldn't touch him with a shitey end of a stick. He's doing nothing down there. So for me, we brought Big Laugh in because I'm a big fan of big strikers and that, but I wouldn't touch Louis Moult with anything at all. I think he's crap. He went down there and he tried to do something down there, and I don't think he's a better player after he went down there. So I can understand where Blue Stars coming from yourself, George, but for me personally, I did at the very start when we were looking for a big striker and we brought in Lafferty, so I was quite happy to get Lafferty in, but he's not really done anything, isn't he? But for me, Louis Moult's a no-no. I mean, there's a lot of rumours going about there's a supposed £25,000 a week striker ready in the waiting to come into Rangers. That there's already been behind the scenes talk. I don't know if that's true or not, because paper talk and media talk can sometimes throw you off the track now. But for me, Louis Moult's not the answer. There must be better strikers out there that we can, if we've got £20 million to pay, for 20 million for Fred's money when he goes. So I would hope the Gaffer would get it all. There's still a lot of money to be accounted for regarding the merchandise. I don't know when that's going to happen. So we've come out ahead this season for the first time in a long time. So I'm sure that the board are thinking, look, whatever we get for Fred, go straight back into the player pool, and let's see if we can pull out a couple of gems. But we obviously we probably will need a replacement striker, and we definitely need a good centre half, and a right back for me. So
George, Stevie G came out there in that last presser, and his exact words were, there'll be at least, when the guy was asking him how many players did he think he would need in an overhaul, he says, but it'll not be nothing like last season, he says, because I had to replace a whole squad. He says, but I'll certainly be bringing in 3, 4 or 5 real quality. And then we had Defoe saying in the presser, if I was a Rangers fan, I'd be looking forward to say and be very, very excited, because I know what's going to be happening. Now, you know as well as I do, he's friendly with Defoe. The reason why Defoe came up here was nothing at all to do with money. We know that for a fact. It was because of Stevie G, and he thought he could win something. So you're looking at it and you're saying, well, he would need to entice them by saying that he thinks he was going to win something. And he would also need to give them a bit of indication as to what he thought he was going to be doing in the next season and a half or whatever. And I'm honestly convinced, by listening to his last couple of pressers, he's convinced, he's more or less told the Rangers fans he'll be bringing in 3, 4 real quality. And the real quality, as Fox said the other night, isn't a £1 million, £2 million player. So I'm agreeing with Jimmy. I think whatever finance he gets, especially for Fred, honestly, guys, I'm expecting him to get the mass majority, whatever the fee is, and maybe more.
I'll ask Fox this one. This is the one I'll ask Fox, because what you just said there was right. And what he said the other night there, Fox, when he done his presser, he said marquee signings.
Yeah.
He used the word marquee signings, and that excited me straight away, because we did have an overhaul. I think he was right. We did have to have that overhaul, but if we can bring in 3 or 4 marquee signings into the squad now, Fox, that's going to excite all the fans. It's going to excite everybody at Ibrox. So I think that's the kind of lift we maybe need going into next season, Fox.
Aye, I do agree we need some class and quality and strength into the side. That costs money. But I'm going to be a wee bit more controversial what I think we should do with our money next season. I think Steven Gerrard should go out, either speak to people he knows, maybe Klopp, etc., and get himself a maybe older-aged tactical person back into the background to give him a horn out, mate. I think that's the backroom staff that he's brought in. Gary McAllister was an assistant, but for me, known as a tactical coach. Stephen's still learning the game. He's the right man to front of a club and be the manager. Don't doubt him for a minute. He's got a lot of learning to do. Michael Beale, like Tom Culshaw and the fitness coach as well, have all come for teaching kids, mate. And Stephen was in the same place himself. Now, I think it's been quite evident some of these tactical changes haven't worked out for him this season. And I think a wee bit of experience in the background could help him and the club in further chase of that mob across the park next season. And I think that's something that he needs to admit to, that I don't think he's got the tactical nous right now, but I think he can learn that for somebody.
What do you think of that one, Bridgman, bringing in an old heap to work alongside them? Do you think that's maybe somebody who should maybe try and go with?
Well, it's as good a shout as anything, because we know we've watched. In some instances, there are some, shall we say, good guys that know about football. Myself, I think when you watch in Ibrox and you think he's a bit late with the change. He doesn't need to make an actual substitution, but he can change the shape of the team and so on and so forth. And he has done a couple of times, but probably being out coached, shall we say, and out thought in some games. I absolutely love the guy, Gerrard, and I hope he stays with us forever. But yeah, I wouldn't say no to what Fox is saying. A really good idea. Can also just say that I feel that JFK is prevaricating a bit when he started talking about Louis Moult. I think he should have come out and said what he felt and not sat in the fence the way he did.
Well
done in the best
said,
possible taste, Jimmy.
The voice of reason.
Good man. Love it.
It's not what Jimmy say it how it is, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Right, young man from Mason.
Best two words I've heard: prevaricating, and it's shocking.
Jimmy, you're entitled to your opinion the same as everybody else, but you're wrong in that one.
Great. Love it.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Really good.
Jimmy, who, as a matter of interest, do any of you, George and Bridgman, you as well, do any of you have an inkling what kind of striker you would go for?
Well,
do you know anybody that if we could afford?
Rangers a Mark Hateley type striker. I've always been a fan of that, and Rangers have always had big strikers up front, you know. And I thought maybe we're bringing Lafferty in, there was a chance that but it's no work for him. So,
not at all.
The gaffer did say that one of, I regret, but some of his targets, but he never brought in a number 10 in January in the summer. So I don't know. We do need a number 10. Maybe we thought Davis was going to maybe help out now, but no. But
you're back to the tactical there, aren't you? When you're talking about a number 10, I think the way Scottish football is really interesting. I'm not being funny when I say this. From a defensive perspective, they're all monsters. Their centre halves, Rangers' centre halves are quite small in comparison. Yep. You look at some of the boys that are playing against us when we're playing, and they're big fellas, huge, well built. Everything about them. And I think Rangers need to be the same in attack in some way or other. Unless you've got someone with the quality of Morelos, will get you the goals. But when you just think about it, maybe we should be thinking about a Mark Hateley type. But I'm not trying to go back in time or anything like that.
No, I'm the same as you, mate.
Looking for someone who's a battering ram and can fight. I don't care what they do. He must be able to fight. And I mean fight everybody else. I don't mean fight with himself. Fight everybody else. And no matter what it is, square go, fight in the tunnel, do what you want to do, but be there and do it. And I love that. Kuzan, Mark Hateley, and Big Purzo. Warriors.
Brilliant players.
Yeah.
That'd be, that's dream stuff. I mean, if you start talking about Mark Hateley's and Big Kuzan and Pursos and things like that, I mean, before we can, we're going to want Brian Laudrup in one of the wings and David Cooper.
You're right.
I'm just meaning the type of centre forward. The type of
midfield.
Yes, I'm just saying the type of striker I would like to see with Rangers, based on all the defences that we come up against, who are big, rough and ready guys. So over 6'4", some of these guys, we want somebody 6'3", 6'4" up there, and a right battering ram if you follow.
A big 7-foot German.
Right, well, there you go.
If we go for a wee tune and we can have a wee dream for 5 minutes and let Fox play a tune and we can and we maybe get back to reality after the break. All right, boys? I think if we're going to mute and Fox will do the wee tune. Go on yourself, old school. Well, is everybody back? You back,
Yeah.
Bridgeman?
Oh, can I just say, Barry Gerrard in the lobby, what a dancer. He's had
He went
more moves
mental,
out there
didn't
than I've
he?
ever seen. Fantastic.
He went mental.
Well done, Barry Gerrard. Superb, pal. Superb.
I think he's been warming that one up since 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, brilliant.
He's what saying there. I mean, that was I kind of dream stuff, and we're just talking. But we're talking about having a Haitley or a big Purcell and these guys up front. What kind of players do I thought when we got Scott Arfield? They really did. I thought when we got Scott Arfield, we're getting a guy for the English Premiership. I'm not saying he's got to come in here and up here and blow everybody away, but I just thought he was got to come up here and I expecting more from Bridgeman than he's actually produced now. What kind of player would you like to? I ken you're a big centre half, Bridgeman, but apart from that, I mean, the skillful players. What kind of player would you like to say he reminds me of this guy? What kind of guy would you like to see coming into your team for next season?
Wow, you know the obviously the star of the show. I'd love to get somebody like Morelos. You know, he's just wonderful. He's a brilliant player. Brings everybody into the game wherever possible. He's fetching. He can fetch and carry. He can turn, no problem at all, and he can score. He's lethal. Obviously, he's not scored as many goals as we would like, but he is lethal. So someone like that, I don't know if we go back. Are you talking about comparing it to someone in the past, or are you saying?
No, I mean, you're saying there about if you could bring in a striker to replace Alfredo, and it'd be somebody like a Haitley or a Dado Purcell or a big Kuzan or something like that. And for me, if we could bring in a Ryan Kent next season, it'd be absolutely fantastic. If you could bring in somebody with that skill that gets us off the seat like Loudrup and things like that, it'd be wonderful again.
George,
I would not argue with you at all, George. And yes, I'm a big fan of Ryan Kent, huge fan of Ryan Kent. I think he's a really quality player. And by the way, his season that he's had up here has been absolutely wonderful. Didn't he start off great, but my goodness, up to now he's been really, really good. Just me, my own thoughts are, we in this league that we're playing in, we need someone that can fight up front, just like Morelos can do. But you're not going to get very many Morelos for a tanner, you know. So
George, I want to see a Stevie G in the middle of the park. Somebody that dominates a game, can take a tackle, and can go by players. We don't have. Name me one midfielder we've got now, and I don't mean Kent as a winger. Name me one of our midfielders that can actually take the ball by a player. We don't have them.
There's Coop said in the lobby there, a Barry Ferguson type.
We don't have one.
We've been joined with Blue Shadow. How are you doing, Blue?
No bad, George. How you going myself, my man?
Aye, no bad. What's your point in the night?
Oh, I was thinking, like, you're talking about a player that, something like a Mark Haitley type player. We were looking at one a little while ago, a guy called Tom Eaves from Dillingham. What does the panel reckon on him? Big lad, 6'3", big strong fella. I think they're wanting a bit more money than we were prepared to offer because we're looking at him at the end of the transfer window last time, and I just didn't think we had enough money left for him last time. I think we offered about 2 million, and I think they were wanting 3, and we just didn't have it at the time.
How you doing, Blue Shadow? Jeff here. I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago. I watch a lot of the lower English stuff on, and I was talking about the type of player that we're going for 2 and 3 and 4 million pounds, centre half strikers and all that in these divisions. But that boy there is the type of player that I like. You know, a big, robust centre forward with a good bit of skill on his feet as well. But it all comes down to but it's going to cost maybe 3 or 4 million, Blue Shadow, and then you're talking even Gillingham will be paying him probably a par on wage, but we're paying him. So no, he'd be looking for an increase in that. It's a big gamble for a boy for Gillingham, you know. 3 million. I don't know if Rangers would do that. No, I'd love to see it, mate. I know the player you're talking about exactly. I've watched him on the TV, and I think he's a cracking big player. It would out my mind there. I'd spoke about him at the start of the season. We were talking about different players, but I know who you're talking about, mate. He's a cracking big player.
The one thing though is you thought of, have you ever been to Gillingham? That just might swing it for us. But another player that we need, as you say, for me, it's
I like that one. Have you ever been to Gillingham?
if one for me would be a sort of Paddy Vieira type character. You know, we're not going to get anybody of that sort of quality. I know that, but that's the sort of player we need. Somebody who can sit at the back, defend, really cover the defenders, but can also play a bit of football as well, and can pass the ball at least 20 yards, and be accurate with it. So if we could get somebody like that, because I think a lot of the problems come from the fact that the midfields perhaps our midfield players that are going forward are just no confident to go forward, and it doesn't help when we can see goals like we did last time out. You know, one long ball and it cut out a whole lot of them.
Aye, that's right. I mean, what you're saying there about a £4 million striker. Now, again, we got Alfredo for 1.2 million. A great fine with Jonathan Johansson, 1.25 or whatever it was, blue. But see, going up to the 3, 4, and like Fox always says, between the 2 million and the 5 million, you're not actually getting that much difference in a striker, if you're honest. I mean, we sell Waghorn for £800,000 or something, and he just went for 6 million or 5 million pounds. Joe Gardner was roughly the same. So I think if you're going to have to get a guy up here to hit the ground running, and we're not expecting him to score 30 and 40 goals like Alfredo has, I think he's a one-off talent we're going to see up here, but we're going to have to spend that 3 and 4, maybe 5 million to get a guy that's even close to what we're getting the new Blue, and that's the thing, we're going to have to spend big bucks unless we get a guy on loan for one of these teams I'm talking about down south, who's just not getting quite in the 25-man team. Again, that's what I mean. I'll say Bridgman here. That's a thing we're going to have to do, Bridgman. Either spend the big bucks to replace him, or we're going to have to get one of these top talents on loan to come up here to play for us for Liverpool or Man City or one of these teams.
Yeah, can't disagree with you. I think last year we were talking about trying to get that boy Solanke up on loan, and it just never appeared. And then all of a sudden, he's away. Was it Southampton he went to, or Bournemouth, for 19 million quid or something like that? You know, what is that about? If we were trying to get him on loan, or we were talking about getting him on loan, so it probably was never going to happen. Yes, I agree with you. If we want to get a quality centre forward, irrespective if he's a big fella, a wee fella, we're going to have to put one hand in our pocket or go into the loan area. Unless we do what Jonathan Johansson did for us, and he got his Morelos for a good sum for the team it was selling, over a million quid, roughly $1 million. And my goodness, he's been great. After about 3 or 4 months, when you got to see the way he played, great player for us. And you're not going to get a lot of them. You just won't get them. You need to be really, really lucky in the market.
Blue Star, we're surely in a better position now this time of the season than we were. We definitely are than we were last point of the season. We've got for Steven Gerrard, 2 heroes in the game, Gary McAllister, and all the guys at his backroom staff, and the contacts at Liverpool and other teams that we can actually bring in guys now than we couldn't. We probably would never had the chance of bringing in last year. We're probably a bit ahead of what we were last year in our recruitment. I came bringing in boys from Kilmarnock and talking about boys from Motherwell and things like that. But for that next level, I would like to think the next level up for Ryan Kent and things like that. We got them last season. I would like to think we're ahead of that now.
Can I come in there, George?
On you go, Jimmy.
You've got to remember, George, we've brought in 20 players, right? And we don't want the show to run to midnight and that, but I mean, if we could all think how many of these 20 players of Steven Gerrard, when he's brought in, how many have been a success? Think about it. I mean, we brought 20 players. He's brought 20 players to Ibrox, loan players and buys. How many, just couldn't in your head, would you think, if you go through them all, how many's been a success? I would say you'd be lucky if it was half of them.
Do you think it's as little as that, Jimmy?
Not even that.
I'm saying, Blue Star, I think you'd be lucky to have half of them.
We're still looking, George, I get what you're saying, we're in a far better place of that, there's no doubt, but, and it's a big but, right up the spine of our side, a strong, dominant centre half, a playmaker in the middle of the park that can go by players and can handle himself, and the same up front. We desperately need the 3 players right up the spine of our side. As I say, for me, the engine room of your team is your midfield. Guys, I'm sorry, it's the one department I've really been disappointed in. Arfield, for me, I don't want to keep going on about him. For me, he's been an absolute mega letdown. Mega letdown. I've never seen him go by a player with a ball at his feet. Never in my life. What he does do is tries to get into spaces and find his self space. That's not what we need. We need guys that dominate midfield and control a game. We've not got that. Therefore, we need somebody in the middle of the park that controls a game. We need a strong, dominant centre half and another guy up front. And I'll tell you what, the one guy that he will definitely have earmarked, and I know we're all talking about it, is a striker, because Stevie G's no daft. He knows for the last couple of transfer windows, they've been waiting and big offers coming in for Fred. So he will have somebody earmarked. But we still need a centre half and at least one in the middle of the park that can dominate a game.
Blue, you're absolutely bang on here by what you're saying. But see, realistically, I mean, we spent three odd million on Big Goldson, and I see to say Goldson should come up here for the English Premiership at £3 million and should work, Blue. I think he should be better than he actually is up here. That's easy to say, he should be, but he's coming for the English Premiership. Scott Arfield's coming for the English Premiership. He was one that I think was Player of the Year at that team. Last season, the season before at Burnley. He should come up here and he should be better than what he actually is. I don't think he's actually giving us the both of them. In fact, I don't think they're actually giving us what they're actually capable of. A lot of folk talk about Big Worrell and Katic not being up to the score. We spent £3 million, Blue, on Big Goldson. I really honestly believe we should be expecting more for him than we're actually getting out the big guy.
George, I totally agree with you. Absolutely. And you must remember, as I say, I'm down that area quite a lot every year. I can assure you the Brighton fans were up in arms that they let Goldson go. They wanted him in their first team. No as a substitute. They wanted him in their team, along with the big guy that came in and replaced him. So they obviously thought a lot of him. When he started the season along with Katic, guys, let's remember the first dozen games, the two of them they weren't just good, they were brilliant together. They really were brilliant. Then they went right off the boil, but that comes down to a lot of other factors. It comes down to the European thing, and when they came back into playing our game, the other team started playing the way they've been playing against us, getting in dirty, etc., etc. And I think it was a culture shock to them. You must remember, down in England, and I know we keep saying this, but it is true. You've seen even Defoe saying it. He says, you can't believe, he says, we used to think the English Premiership was the best league in the world. He says, I get less time in the ball up here, he says, than I did down there. It's fact. As soon as a Rangers player looks at the ball up here, they've got 2 and 3 guys crunching them. They don't get that down south. They very, very rarely ever get it. They get more time on the ball. Somebody like Arfield was the exact same. Tackling and all that down south, unless it's one of the meatier sides, most of the big teams, if you bring in and say somebody like Aguero up here, who's the same height as Fred, are you trying to tell me Aguero's going to get dancing by players the way he does down there? Never in a million years. He would get crunched the same as Fred gets crunched. And that's the situation, because it's a different style of football, which is why we've done better in Europe, guys. If you watch most of the European guys, the European teams that we play against, how many times did you see bad tackles? You didn't. Most of the games we were able to play football. That's why, because the European teams hang off.
Can I come in on that, Blue? Can I come in on that, pal?
Yep.
Just to say that from a centre-half perspective, I think our team has been imbalanced. And that, I'm not saying it's dreadfully imbalanced, but at the back, we did. Me, Redman, saying forever, I want somebody, left-footed, to balance up the centre-half area. I'm looking for I'm not an attacking centre-half as in going up and scoring. I would like that too. But somebody that's going to attack the ball. That's one thing we don't have in the centre-half area. Somebody that will attack the ball. You've got 2 centre-halves now, and they're both quite good, but they're no great. I'm looking for somebody that's great in the air, hard as nails. You watch some of these wee centre-forwards, and they're coming around and bumping, they bump the centre-half, and they knocks them off their stride and so on and so forth. I'm looking for somebody that'll just stand there and they'll just run it. It's like running into a wall. I've played against people like that, and it's tough. And these centre-forwards that's doing all this, something quite nasty, actually, they'll not do it to these guys. The one I'm looking for, must be left-footed.
We asked you, will you like come in there, Blue Shadow?
About the centre halves is, for me, I think Worrell has been a distraction, a massive distraction for me. We started off the season with Goldson and Katic. They struck up a relationship. They were playing in Europe. They were playing really well together. And then, unfortunately, young Katic got himself injured. Worrell came in, and I think this contract that Worrell's had, whereby I think it was he had to play 17 games by January, otherwise he had to go back to his parent club. And I think that seriously hampered the development of Katic, and we're going to suffer for that for next year unless we find somebody to replace Katic and give him the time to come back.
Agreed, Blue Shadow. Agreed.
Yeah, but can I just say about Katic? Katic had some problems with some family problems back home, and it was costing him apparently an imbalance in the way he plays football, and he had to go home and so on and so forth, and he had a few injuries. So I'm not saying it was devastating for him as far as the family was concerned, but he got probably homesick. You name it, all happening to the boy. But I think obviously a lot of folk think he's quite a good player. He's not the best, but he's still quite a good player. If he just gets his head right, he should be not too bad for the Rangers. That's all I'm going to say about that.
He's only 21-year-old, Bridge. That's very young for a centre-back, as you know yourself.
Getting back to Tom Eves, Blue Shadow, he plays in the League One. I mean, they're wanting $5.5 million for him, mate.
Yeah, that's a problem. And the wages, Jimmy.
That's what they value him at the He's 27. You know what I mean? And a League One player in England. No, he's a cracking player down there, but would he be able to do it up here at that price? I think it's too big a gamble. But he looks a good player. He looks all right.
Well, name more than $4 million. Everybody overvalues players everywhere, and we all know that. So I wouldn't go any more than $4 million. For $4 million for him, as he says, what gets me is he's a big, aggressive player. Although oh God, that 6'4" striker we've got at the minute, the Irish boy.
He's not back an extension. His contract, Blue Shadow. His contract expires end of this season.
All right. Well, the one for me is he's a big, aggressive player in there, like Hateley was. Yeah. And for me, a player like that is worth his weight in gold, because when they've got 5 back or something like that, and you could get a good ball in to a player that's good and big and aggressive in the air, you've always got a chance of getting a goal. Yeah. Or he will occupy 2 centre backs on his own quite comfortably, and then thereby you're looking at the second ball and you've got a good chance of getting the second ball for me.
That's probably the downside about what you were saying a minute ago about the loan signings. I think it was Bridgman was saying it. You're having to guarantee these guys games. You know, I think Big Worrell's maybe been. I ken he's been off the boil and he's had problems and that, Jimmy, but he's maybe not had a fair crack at it because Katic, because Big Worrell's been there and he's had to have these games. Whereas Big Katic, he's actually our player. I think a lot of the times he should actually been. I said that a few times. I thought he had a couple of stinking games for us, but I thought he was our best centre half. And over the last few weeks, I think Big Golson's been the one that's been caught wondering, if I'm honest. And you think he's the guy that's got to be there and be solid and keeping the guys right, if you know what I mean.
Just come in briefly. Is the thing you got to remember about Goldson, he's not played more than 8 games a season for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably struggling now and he needs a rest.
That's what I was going to say as well. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of people didn't actually know he's not actually had that many games. I think he's played about 40 games in the last 5 years or something like that. 6 years, I'm sure I read, which isn't a lot of games. So maybe you're right there. Maybe it's just getting to this point in the season where he's not actually used to playing this amount of games. Because I think it was a couple of weeks ago there, Jimmy, you says it was at 50 games you had already played. In Europe and things. That's a lot of games. Like in the professional football players, we all go to work every single day and come back every day. But they guys, I mean, it's a lot of games for the guys that's not played that amount of games in a season, Jimmy.
Definitely right, Kat.
I think.
Sorry, Blue. How do you go, Bridgman? Now you go, pal.
I was just going to say, I think we have to take our hat off to Golson, because he had shall we say, an illness, and it was rectified, and hopefully it'll never come back. But to play the amount of games that he's played for us alone in one season. I don't know how many it is, let's say close to 40 games he's played for us, and he's done no too bad. where you can see he's not the best quality in the whole world, but I think he's not a bad centre half. But you need somebody fast and pacey that can help him, because he gets caught out easily with the pace. Other than that, he's not a bad centre half. But he needs somebody that's going to be, shall we say, the attacking centre back, the one that'll take all the, this is my ball, I'm in there, corner kicks, free kicks, I'm clearing it and killing everybody in the sight, Sorry, guys.
What were you going to say there, Jimmy?
I can't teach me rate it when they come in, but I mean, I've not actually had a good scan of the papers that they online now, but there seems to be a comment made that he's come out and said that the heads are down at Ibrox. Is that right, aye?
Who's this, Jimmy?
Katic has come out and said that the heads are down at Ibrox or something.
Can I say that they'd lost confidence a bit? He's probably telling the truth, guys.
But he should be.
I know he shouldn't come out and say it. I know that.
Katic for me, when he came, I think we were all excited about him and Barisic and obviously Grezda. I know I'm digressing a wee bit there with Grezda and that, but you know the way I felt about Worrell, but I think we made a mistake by dropping him there on Saturday. I thought it has been one of our better players in defence. Golson for me could be the next Rangers captain if it's not going to be young Ross McCrory. I rate Golson as a good, strong central defender, but sometimes he just kind of drifts out the game. His concentration falls. Worrell for me, if Nottingham Forest think he's an £8 or £10 million player, then ha, he's never that. So bye, we don't need you, because would I take him for another season? No, I wouldn't. I think we need to start getting marine players in. I don't mind a couple of loan deals here and there that are going to benefit the team, but I keep harping back. I know we shouldn't keep going back all the time, but the day I stood at Hampden when we were playing the Shaggers and 6 of our team were loans, for me that day that was poor. So I want to see I'd like to see 11 Scotsmen on the park, but preferably I want to see all our own players, no matter where they come from. So centre half for me is a must. Centre half, striker, and a right back, and a number 10. We need a number 10 as well.
George, can I ask the panel a question, mate?
On you go, Blue.
What about our lads out on loan? Are any of them going to be any use to us next season, do we reckon?
I think Walker can do us a turn. I honestly do. He's got a good engine on him. He could certainly do our squad. I'm not saying he's going to be our answer in midfield. Definitely no. We need a commanding guy that's going to control a game. Can we afford one of them? I don't know. But Doherty has certainly got an engine. He can run as hard after 90 minutes as he can at the start, and very few of our players can do that. So for me, he should definitely be in the squad.
Even the young boy Hardy at Livingston, I ken he's at Livingston, and a lot of folk are saying, we're not talking about replacing Morelos here. I'm just talking about he scored a lot of goals in this league this season against teams that we've not been able to score against.
Yeah.
So I mean, surely he should come in, because that's the crazy thing about we're talking the new, and we've all been talking up with Alfredo, and we've been talking up Ryan Kane. We've not scored a lot of goals recently. Our big we've not lost a lot of goals either. But I mean, a centre half's on the conceding a lot of goals, but it's not scoring the goals that's been a problem. And it's we hardly scoring against teams like St Mirren and Dundee and St Johnstone, teams we can't score against, Jimmy. I don't understand. I'm not saying he's a world beater, Jimmy, but Blowshard was asking about bringing guys back for a loan signing. We get that boy an extra year contract. Should we bring him back and give him a chance?
Aye, of course we should, because I mean, Zach Rudden and young Doherty and Hardy, look at Andy Halliday. Andy Halliday was out of sight, and then he got brought back, and whatever Steven Gerrard's done with him, he's a journeyman player, we know that, but he gives 110%. So these young players have got to be given a chance, to perform at a better level than they are performing. There's no use putting them out on loan all the time to try to give them a game every week. Try and bring him into the squad. I know young Middleton had a go at it and he's fell away and he's not even part of the squad now. But I would give young Doherty. Only what I've seen on the TV, and I've watched a couple of Shrewsbury's games live in the last 6-7 months, and he looked apart, and then he was injured there for a few weeks, and he's back again. I think he's worth a chance. I think Zach Rudden's worth a chance. I think Hardy's worth a chance because the Bahrain players. Look, he's going to fall on his sword at some point. So why not give the young boys a chance instead of bringing in some of the donkeys that we brought in like Sadiq and things like that. And Ajaria. I never liked Ajaria. Players like that. So bring in a couple of our aid players and put them in the squad. Give them a chance to play. There's League Cup games. I've always said, blood your players in the League Cup. See that tournament. Give them match practice and playing for the first team in the League Cup. It's a shitey cup. It's not a shitey cup at Emirates and affair there. They're going for their treble again. It's a treble when it suits them. But give these young boys a chance. And I would definitely give young Doherty a chance. And I'd bring Zach Rudden and I would bring back young Hardy and put them into the squad. They're not going to be necessarily first team every week, but they've got a chance in the periphery of the squad, guys. And they're worth it. They're worth it for me.
What about you, Bridgeman? Would you bring any of the boys back? If so, what ones would you bring back?
Well, the guys are saying that the whomever it is will go out there, they deserve a shot. Well, who am I to argue with them, truth be told? But personally speaking, I never thought Doherty was Rangers quality, but I could be wrong this time because he's been away for best part of a season and he may be blossoming. So I haven't seen him. I think Jimmy JFK saying he saw him. I haven't seen him, so I'd like to hold my old fire on that and any criticism of him, which I don't think there would be really. I just don't see him as a Rangers player. But as I say, I've been wrong. If he came back and the manager thought he was good enough to get in the squad, he had a couple of nice games for us before, but then he just fell away. And to me, in all honesty, I don't see him as a Rangers player of quality. What we're speaking about, what I have been speaking about, is bringing in players that can go to the next level and make Rangers better. And I don't know if Doherty can do it. Nothing against the guy. I just don't think he's the same as the other boys that are out there. We've got on loan, the young boy that's at Livingston, and I don't know where the other boy is Falkirk or something like that. The three names that we said anyway, I just don't see it. Zach Rudden, was it? Zach Rudden?
Just Falkirk.
Guys, I'll tell you, see with the 8 games to go, I would swap Arfield for Doherty in a heartbeat right now. There you go. In a heartbeat. Because despite what anybody says, Arfield is probably, if no the worst, he's in the top 2 worst that Stevie G's brought. Because he's done absolutely hee-haw. Yes, he had a decent game against them. That is the only game he's even attempted to contribute. The rest of the games, he's been anonymous. Sorry for being hard on him, guys, but it's the truth. He's been anonymous.
But Blue Star, I thought we were speaking about which loan players we got out there would we bring back.
For quality. I know.
Right.
But I'm just saying, for me, Doherty the now.
Do you think Doherty is better than... Okay, that's cool.
Without a shadow of a doubt, he's playing better football than what Arfield.
So you could bring back Doherty. What would you do with the other two that we mentioned, Zach Rudden and the boy at Livingston?
Truthfully, I don't know enough about him. The boy at Livingston, I've only seen wee bits and pieces. He doesn't look anywhere near strong enough for me, for starters. He's very thin.
I can give you what I know about the guys, right? Doherty, for starters, probably the most high-profile game was the two games that they had against Wolverhampton Town in the cup. Doherty was given man of the match in the first game, which they should actually put Wolves out, and they did really, really well in the second one as well. So I certainly think he's got enough. I do worry, young Hardy. I do worry about him. He's very similar in many ways to Defoe. He likes the ball down the channels with room to run in behind defenders. Whether he'd get that space in behind defences playing for Rangers with the way teams set up against us, that's what worries me about Hardy. Rudden, a big aggressive laddie, and apparently he could play on the left hand side of an attacking three as well. So if we're not getting Ryan Kent, he's more of a striker, so we'd actually have to go more towards the way that the Liverpool played their 4-3-3, where your width has come from your wing backs, which Fox and I have been talking about recently.
I'm reading the lobby here. There's another one, guys, and he's turning it on for Bury. There's Rossiter. Rossiter's not kicked a ball for us either. I know he's been injured, but at the same time, is it a case of it's because of the team's the hammer throwers are into us? Is this what it is? And they go into these other teams, they're not getting that. They're able to play football.
See, on the Rossiter one, I was actually just going to mention the Rossiter one now. For me, I think I would bring Hardy back and give him a chance. But Hardy, see Dockett, I would probably bring him back, but I would like to think he'll go out on loan for another 6 months and get another 6 months down there at a higher level and see how he's got to do, because he's not playing at the highest level. He's playing well, but he's not playing at the highest level. But see, the rest of them, for me, I'm not so much Zach Rudden, because he's a young lad and I think he's got a lot of potential. But the other ones who's out on loan, Hole and all these guys, they're on last chance saloon for me. If they come back and they're not going to fit in, I would just release them. There's no point in us sending these guys out on loan anymore. If Rossiter comes back up here and breaks down again, we've just got to cut our losses now. I can't. We've paid the lad a lot of money the last few years. He's not kicked a ball, but it's maybe just no. Like Ox was saying about Barisic the other night there, he's maybe just not the same style as we need in Scottish football, and maybe that's what it is. And again, it is rougher and tougher up here. But if he's coming up here to play, you need to get used to that. And if he comes up here and breaks down again, I think you'd need to say the lad is on last chance saloon. Jimmy, do you think so?
I don't think we'll see Rossiter back. I think he'll bide his time down there, come back up and be put out on loan or released. Unfortunately, the boys know.
I think he's on his last year, Jimmy.
Aye, he is. I think he's unlucky. His injuries and that, So, I mean, don't forget. I mean, I don't think Graham Dorans will kick a ball for the game, but we'll still get Jamie Murphy to come back as well. So, definitely Greg Dockett. The game that Blue Shadows talking about, the 2 games in the FA Cup. I watched the games, and Greg Dockett played out his skin. And I think he's worth a try, guys. I mean, I know when we brought Murphy Hamilton and that, we were, he's just a Hamilton player now. But I think his time down in Shrewsbury has been beneficial to him, and that's going to be beneficial to us. Again, about Hardy, I agree with what Shadow's saying as well, But I still think he's worth a chance. Bring Marine, try and nurture Marine players, because then they just keep putting them out on loan. As I said, Glenn Middleton got a chance, and it's for whatever reason it's no work for him. So bring a boy back at the end of the season and put him straight into the first team squad, and let him train with the squad and maybe be part of the squad and play when he can. But I think definitely I can't see no bringing him back. I think if he sends Greg Docherty back out on loan, I think that's a mistake. He's had a good season down there, out with his injuries. But for me, I would definitely, that'd be my number one, is Greg Docherty. I'd bring him back in a heartbeat. As for Scott Arfield, I think Scott Arfield flatters to deceive a lot of the times. I know we'll say he plays down in the Premiership, but he was a bit of a journeyman. No, he wasn't that great a player up here, and he was all right down there. So for me, he blows hot and cold, Arfield, but I'd still keep him. But I definitely, Greg Docherty gets my vote all the time, guys.
There's 3 more players that spring to mind, although one of them's not out on loan. One's Andy Dallas, and the other one's young Robbie McCrory, who's out on loan who are both out on loan at Morton. Is Robbie McCrory up to taking off one of the spots at Rangers, number 2 or number 3? And Andy Dallas is probably still a bit young for coming through. And Serge Atakai, who came on for one brief outing in the first team and got absolutely brutalised. Yeah. Is he still a bit young, do you think, lads?
I'd love to see him coming into Team Blue. But what I've seen the wee guy in the reserve games and the under-19 games, he's just one of the wee guys we were talking about earlier. He gets you up half your seat and he's exciting. But like you were saying there, I think he was on the park for 10 minutes. Who was it he played? I can't remember who it was he played against for 10 minutes. And just if we got his leg broken, so he's either going to have to bulk up or we're going to have to protect the laddie in some way. But I would love to see him getting in the team, because I think he's one of the kind of star laddies. He'll really get you up off your seat, get you excited.
George, can I? Would you mind if I I've came up with some today there, and I meant to ask you earlier on. I'd like to read something out. It's in context is about the Rangers fans going to the Midden next week, and it's to do. It's a release from Ibrox Noise. I don't know if anybody's read it. Do you mind if I read this out? It's only a paragraph or so.
On you go, Bridge.
It's to do with Celtic. Say to you, Celtic yesterday released a statement with regards the upcoming Old Firm fixture, one which will see a continuation of the dramatically reduced visiting team ticket allocation. But it was the absurdity of the message being sent out which both amused and disgusted us here at Ibrox Noise. To cut a long story short, Rangers fans are to be given a police escort from the Velodrome to Parkhead on the grounds of safety reasons. But the reality is a further pettiness from Celtic over the aforementioned cut and an unspoken concession on Celtic's part due to their fans' appalling behaviour this season. How many times? Celtic and Police Scotland don't trust them not to cause trouble as the visiting fans pass. Rangers supporters are to be herded like cattle because Parkhead chiefs and the security forces can't keep the home supporters in check. Barely covered in the media, Celtic fans had a riot outside the stadium some weeks ago in January when Airdrie visited in the Cup, with fans having a fight and bottles being thrown. And if bosses can't trust them around Airdrie fans, the hierarchy sure can't trust them with their mortal enemies arrive. So Rangers fans, who aside from a few naughty songs, have mostly behaved themselves this season, get punished for Celtic fans and their stadium complete lack of facility to deal with this. And that's what we were speaking about last night. It was their Celtic fans who get, shall we say, they're the ones who get crushed. Nothing to do with Rangers. No Rangers fan was crushed before the game. It's a segregation of a truly embarrassing level and boils down to Celtic's inability to keep their thugs in line and their continuing aggro over Rangers prioritising their own fans. End of statement. I think it's brilliant, by the way. I do. I think it's brilliant. And that's the thing we were speaking about last night, George. Absolutely brilliant.
You can't argue with that.
No.
That I spoke about last night, and the bit there about the Airdrie game, Bridgeman, that's never been spoken about in the media. I mean, it was all our social media. Everybody seen what happened that night. Yeah. A team in the second division go there in a cup game, and there's bottles getting flung, there's riots, and you hear the shouts where it was all coming from. And they wonder why. I mean, they wonder why they can't control their own fans and why we're having to get 2 hours before the kick-off and 2 hours after the kick-off. We're going to have to be locked in the middle. It's absolutely crazy, JFK, is it no?
Well, I said last night, I read out the first statement last night, and I just think it's absolutely abhorrent, disgusting. I could put another 10 or 11 words in there. The way they're treating us is absolutely shocking, and it's the fans that are making the statements, But I mean, I've been looking today. I don't even see anything for Club 1872. But more importantly, I don't see anything for the Rangers club, the club that we all love and go and watch. Why did he not make a statement? We put the safety measures in place. We put the barricades up to make sure that they can get in safely. And what they're going to do, they're going to Look, I don't care. There will be trouble that day at the game, right? Because they will go and look for it. I was talking to a pal today, right? He's got a ticket for the game. He's been told that he will get a ticket, right, for his supporters club. He's actually thinking of no going, right? He says because we're not running a supporters bus. He says because we don't have enough bodies, so we were going to go in the car. He says it meant we could have parked X, Y, and Z a place, and then we can make our own way to the game. But now they're telling us that they're going to herd us in the Emirates Arena Stadium on the car park, and then they're going to escort us in like cattle. He says that's a recipe for a disaster happening and somebody get hurt. So this is a thing that Rangers should be doing right now, right? And I know a lot of guys in the lobby there maybe shout me doing it, and that'll be right. I know a lot of you guys still go to the away games, right? And I appreciate that because I was there myself, and I know you do, George. But see, for Scumsville, Pedodome, take no tickets at all, and don't give them tickets for Ibrox. End of. And then we'll have this carry on. Ban them. Ban them, ban them, ban them. That's a polite word for keep them away. Raging.
Are you saying we should boycott? Are you saying we should boycott it officially, or are you saying Rangers should have a policy that when it comes to the Old Firm game, it's home support only?
Yeah, Rangers should make a statement.
That's fine. Not we have to be official about it.
Yeah, Rangers should make a statement that owing to the ongoing security fears by Celtic FC, we find it necessary not to take any tickets for the forthcoming game, and then come next season, under the measures that we put in place, we feel that we will now make Ibrox just an all red, white and blue for a pedo game. So simple as that. And I know a lot of guys, right, I want to go and see it. I can understand that. But rather do that than get herded. That's a disgusting thing they're doing to these guys. Disgusting.
I'm 100% behind you there.
What do you make of that?
That's because they are disgusting in every sense of the word.
Can I just come in here? One thing which confuses me slightly. So we're going to be in the stadium for an hour and a half beforehand, or our fans are, for an hour and a half beforehand. Then you've got an hour and a half plus of a game, and then an hour and a half afterwards.
Yes.
So that's 4.5 hours in the stadium. Does health and safety not kick in that they must provide hydration and all sorts by that time?
Well, I don't know what the health and safety regulations, as far as they're concerned, if they're putting on something there and you go and buy it, the fact of the matter is, we love our club and that, but they just seem to let us down in a lot of things, and this is one of the things that they should be proactive in. They should be saying to it's nothing to do with supporters clubs. They should just be saying to them, we don't feel that our fans be safe, so we will not be taking any tickets, and that's it. And then come the start of next season, when it comes to the dishing out tickets, just say we feel that the barriers, but they can be any excuse they want, that you are not washing yourself right, so you can't get in. Do what they want to do, your dirty, smelly rat bags and that, get out of here. So that's been, Rangers have got to be proactive in this. I know it's too late now.
It's no laughing matter, but see, I'm just envisioning your letter to them, your anti-washing campaign. It just wouldn't go down right. You writing a letter, Jamie. I think you're bang on. I think you should maybe. I think your club needs to stand up, and I've always said, Jimmy, no, I want to be there because I was there the day. The wee thumb was at our place and tying scarves, and they were doing all the pretending to do the bouncing and all that, Jimmy. And I want to be there that day when we're doing that to them. But I think it's got to the point now where I think you said the other night that health and safety has become a massive thing here now. If they can't guarantee your safety going in and out of grounds, just didn't take any tickets at all. Didn't give them any tickets at all. We allowed them into our ground. We give them the safest possible way to get into our ground and to go out of our ground, and there was no bother whatsoever, Jimmy. Whereas we're
the people that were inconvenienced when the puddle drinkers came to Ibrox was us.
Exactly, Jimmy. We're getting herded into a car park, and we're getting herded out of a car park 4 hours inside the football stadium for a 90-minute match. It's absolutely ludicrous, Jimmy.
A lot of people I know come for the West End, because obviously that's where I'm from, and they come through the tunnel for the West End and park their cars near the wee Rangers club and walk to the ground. They were told they weren't allowed to do that today, the puddle drinkers game, that they couldn't get access to certain parts of Broomloan Road because the puddle drinkers were coming to town, So we looked after them by inconveniencing our fans. What do Rangers do? They capitulate here. They should be just telling them to stick the tickets up their arse.
Oh! Easy boy.
I think it's time. Again, we're talking about 1872 and things like that, Jimmy. I think your club need to come out and make a statement. We're getting kicked for Paul at the Postbridge, man. He's right, what he's saying.
Yeah, I 100% agree with him.
We're getting kicked for here to there, and and our club maybe need to come out and just say, you know something, this has been a bit of a trial this year. We've allowed 800s in. Well, next year we're not allowing any in. A lot of fans will be unhappy with that, but I think it's the way we need to go with it.
George, they couldn't look after their own fans. So Rangers have got the upper hand there. They just need to say, look, you couldn't even guarantee the safety of your own fans. Our fans are not going. We want to look after our own fans. End of.
I think, guys, I said it last night. It's just ridiculous. There's 800 fans going into a stadium that holds 60,000 people. 800 fans, and the police say they have to get them in like 2 hours before the game and then 2 hours after the game, and just utter crap.
It's ludicrous.
How can they no handle 800 people, for God Almighty's sake? Shocking.
Is this Police Scotland's ham-fisted way of trying to basically dissuade Rangers fans from going, and end up with a situation where you've got no Rangers fans in the midden and none of their lot across the Ibrox? But they can't. I think
what it's about, Blue Shadow, is what they're trying to do. In my opinion, they're trying a slippery way in order to force the authorities to turn in and say, let's get the 7,000 back in again. Let's get it back up to where it was. It gives them the whole Broomloan stand, and they would get access to this more seating available for us. It's still crap for Rangers fans. They still got to get into a wee shitty part of the ground. So forgive my swearing there, I didn't mean it. But it's true. I think the whole thing's just a joke, and I agree with JFK. If it was me, if I was in charge of Rangers, I would no way would I accept that statement they've come out with, either by Police Scotland, Celtic Football Club, the SPFL or the SFA. This is not, even the government shouldn't be allowing that. They shouldn't be allowing 800 people to be herded into a wee bit of ground, and then the police decide they're going to walk them across. And by the way, don't turn up if you're not going to make it in time. What's that rubbish about?
It's the thing about the Crush. It's the thing about the Crush Bridge, man, that I didn't understand. I mean, it had absolutely nothing to do with the Rangers fans. Correct. But every time it's spoken about, it's to do with on the day when Rangers played Celtic. That's the only connection there. We were playing them that day. None of our fans were involved in it. Our club wasn't involved in it. It was them that couldn't get their fans safely into the ground. I don't know why it keeps on coming up about us. We put our barrier up, and like Jimmy was saying there, we were the only ones that were inconvenienced that day when they came to our place. And now they're trying to make, when we went to their place, it was all about us. It was nothing to do with us. It was them that made the complete arse. Whatever the word of it.
For me, it's just another example of we need somebody at the helm of Rangers on the day-to-day running of Rangers, a bit more like Willie Waddle than this lad Robertson. He may be a good businessman. He may be good in certain other areas, but it just doesn't seem to have the personality to run a club the size of Rangers for me.
You know, these stadiums, guys, these modern day stadiums, they're designed in such a way that you could, and I don't know how many minutes it is, but it's no long. I would suggest that 20 minutes you could empty both stadiums. So it's the police, get the fans dispersed, or getting them into the stadium. It's the getting in and it's the getting out again. They're the areas of challenge for the police and any other authorities. And I don't understand how they can't access or give access to 800 fans. I can't believe it. They get 800 Rangers fans and they're fighting. They're going to hold them in the stadium until the other 59,200, whatever it be, fans disperse. No, that's just wrong.
Bridge, man, our team bus doesn't even get up to the front door. Enough said.
Yeah, I know that, pal.
They treat us like cattle. Our club should be coming out and saying, sorry, fans, any fans that want to go, we're not taking tickets. It's as simple as that. They can't guarantee your safety, therefore we don't want the name of it, because they can't even look after their own fans' safety. That's it. Yeah. Rangers have got the upper hand there.
Yeah, so I think it has to be put in a shall we say, a more legalised text, You can't just say. So I'd like them to find a way and to say for these particular games, Rangers Celtic matches, it should be home fans only. That should be it.
Blue Star, would you go as far as to say that if you don't let our team coach up to the front door for the safety of our players to get on and off, we're not turning up, and you can just have the 3 points this season?
if we've no our board's not got the bottle to do that, Blue Shadow. But I would go as far as to say that if they were going to do things right, let's go in with both feet. Why's our team not getting up to the front door at Parkhead? Explain that. Because they can't guarantee their safety because of where their fans are. Our fans are right at our front door, and yet their team can walk in our front door. End of story.
Well,
I would make them come down, Blue. I would actually make them come down Edmondson Drive. I would turn it a wee bit. I'd make them go to the other side of the road and walk right across that full road in front of everybody. Because what our players have got to do in that day, walk right up that highway, whatever you call it, it's an absolute disgrace. The length of the length they've got to walk to get into the grun, but yet their players can stop right outside, not even 20 feet for the front door, and walk straight in. That's another thing our club need to stand up to.
George, and our club allow that to happen.
Exactly.
You know
the story.
You know, guys, the last couple of weeks there with there's trouble in the grounds and our player being assaulted, but confronted is a nice word they're putting in there. He was assaulted, and as far as I'm concerned, the very first thing they should be doing is making sure no fan can get anywhere near any player from the bus the moment they arrive to the moment they get into that stadium, and inside the stadium should be completely clear. So at no time should any fan get anywhere near any of the players. If they do, then they're buzzing the slates, as far as I'm concerned.
They're treating us, they're intimidating our players before they even go in the park, because we're not even allowed to get our players to come in basically dropped off at their front door. How ridiculous is that? See, if Rangers were doing things properly and running properly then we could get the points and they could get the points deducted for them for that, because they're treating our club, they're treating our team, they're intimidating us, and our club's allowing that to happen.
It's sad.
It's shocking.
That's us got to that time of the night, guys. It's been a good discussion tonight. We've had a good chat with everybody, Bridgeman and Jimmy and Blue, the two Blues. We had Seth on the call as well. So thanks for everybody for calling and making a good show tonight, making it easier for me. Cheers, Foxy's there as well in the background, and Old School's there in the background. Cheers if you can take that away with your tune, Fox.
Can I just come in and say a good evening to everybody?
There's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town. The bar staff, they are one terrific crew. Everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere, singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Ibrox Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or Londonderry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you, so come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all.